Mr. Scanlon, how are you?
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
So much of the commute to enjoy.
This is just a regular board meeting?
Regular board
Okay,
meeting.
Okay.
election cases. No electoral board today, Jim?
Yes,
We
right
do after this? Okay. We'll call to order the regular meeting of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners for Monday, December 8th, 2014. Good morning, everyone. My name is Langdon Neal. I'm chairman of the board. Seated to my right is Commissioner Richard Cowan, and to my left is Commissioner Marisol Hernandez. First item on the agenda is consideration of the agenda. Any additions, deletions? Hearing none, we'll move to item 3, the minutes. We have minutes for Tuesday, November 20th, 2014. Has everyone had an opportunity to review those minutes?
Yes, motion to approve?
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cowan. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the 20th is over here. Oh, nope. We also have minutes, no, that's it, right?
No.
No, we have minutes for the special board meeting held on Monday, December 1st, 2014. Again, is there a motion to approve?
So moved?
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cowan. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That'll be the order. We'll then move to the Executive Director's report. Mr. Goff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to report that Tuesday, December 2nd, I was at a meeting of the Overseas Voting Initiatives that was held in Austin, Texas, and it went very well. They used our website, thanks to Mr. Allen's website. They used our website as things to put in place and the right things to do. Lessons to learn. So I was very pleased with that, and the meeting was attended by about 20 of the Secretary of States throughout the United States, and you know, in most areas, the Secretary of State is the election official, the chief election officer in the state. And I was sitting next to the Secretary of State in Florida, and we were talking, and he says, well, I'll bring up my website, and he put in his birth date of August 17th, 1970. And somebody sitting next to me said, boy, Lance, you're getting old. And I said, you're right. So it was a very good meeting. It was attended well.
What was their website like in Florida?
They had some issues with it. So they were looking at ours, and they were trying to, they're going to modify theirs immediately to mirror some of what we're doing in ours. But we've had people that have, with the armed forces, have written letters to FVAP about how we handle the armed services. We have some people that write Jeff's letters thanking him for what he does. And Jeff really reaches out to the servicemen, and to the point where he kind of knows some of them and says, how's your family doing, this and that. So it was very, very well, and it's reported on through the FBAT that, you know, the city of Chicago has a very hands-on with armed forces. So I was very proud of that, just to let you know. A couple of other items on Wednesday was the last day to file objections. I just have to tell you, it went very well. Consider we had under 200, it went very well. All the services are out. From the attorneys that I spoke to, everything has been going very well. So I just wanted to let the board members know that everything seems to be going very well, and we're ready for this upcoming election.
What was the final number of objections filed?
184.
180. Okay.
Down from 400 something.
424.
Or 24.
All righty. Anything else from Mr. Goff? Anything else from
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Bateman? Anything for you today?
Just moving along on to the next election, as Mr. Goff said. The registration department, again, just moving from one project to the next. They are now into the inputting the data from the petitions to our JPP for potential objection records exams. So just moving forward, the warehouse is busy. We are conducting a test tomorrow on the e-poll books. So we're doing connection and updates tomorrow in public out of the warehouse. They will then move into the preventative maintenance and whatever testing needs to be done on the E2P, the Insight, as well as the HAP. So they are, again, just going forward, moving on to the next election. They're cleaning out the ESCs, just getting ready.
Okay. Very good.
Kelly, without getting into a discussion at this time about the electronic poll books, but is the testing that's going to be done this round to take into account the concerns that came up on election day?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not the same testing as before, it's in some respects been revised.
Correct.
So essentially, we're doing an election day test. So we're requiring the vendor to actually make functional the update that occurred on November 4th.
Okay. All right, well, I think we'll all be interested in the results of that testing.
Well, that moves on to, that includes Ms. Bateman's report. Okay, Mr. Allen.
Good morning, Commissioners. I know you have a lot of work with the electoral board, so last week was the lottery. Went very smoothly. The only difficulty we had was that at the end we had to explain to everybody where they were in their respective contests, because even though they had read the rules and stuff, many of the people entered the room not knowing that they were number 3 in that lottery, or number 5, or number 4, or 2. Went very smoothly. Been working mostly with Mr. Scanlon, Mr. Federke, and Ms. Sheehan on the electoral board, getting those uploaded. This is the first time with the new website that we've uploaded, and we ran into a little bit of a memory issue. Quickly solved, but nonetheless we ran into it. I just want to warn you that even though you're down to 184 objections, some of these are quite voluminous. Some of these are 2,000 pages, because they concentrate on all the signatures. And not only that, but for the first time that I can remember, there are a lot of objections that are focused on someone or hundreds of voters who signed 2 petitions. So apparently there was a lot of prep work by some of the objectors, or there appears to have been prep work, I should say, so that they could study and quickly enter the data from other petitions and compare who signed whose petition.
Now, Jim, what is it that we're uploading? The petition and the objection?
Not the petition.
Just
No,
the
the petition would reveal, when we get a lot of questions about that, why don't you put that on the web? And we'd be putting all these voters' signatures out there and their addresses on the web. So we've never done that. If people want to request them, obviously they can request those, but we don't simply create a giant portal like that. So it's just the meat of the objection. We don't go into the recapitulation sheets. So it's just the heart of the objection itself without the exhibits. And then we're moving ahead with all the other updates and preparations for everything from the calendars to the fast fact cards. That's it.
I just have one question. When petitions are, we have to make copies of them. Do we scan, are they scanned,
Yes.
and is that how we turn them over to?
We do both. We scan them and we also make copies.
Uh-huh.
Right now, there's no way, the law does not permit us to do electronically, correct, Jim? I mean, to
Like
file.
on a
Oh,
thumb drive?
No, we have them on the CDs, all the petitions.
But
and objections.
when we turn them over, if an objecting party wants a copy of the petitions,
They could have it either hard copy or on a CD.
I'm just wondering if we should make it standard to put it on it would be more cost effective, wouldn't it?
Not all of your candidates have that capability to do that. That's the only reason.
Are they paying for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
And we have a set price for the electronic
yes,
delivery of information?
yes, we do.
Okay, we'll move on to old business. Do we have anything to report on infrastructure projects or changes in election administration?
Just one.
Sure.
Ms. Bateman has organized the meeting, the upcoming meeting that you're going to be speaking at, the AECOI, and quite presciently lined up a speaker from Milwaukee who will be addressing the topic of their experiences, more than 2 or 3 decades of experiences with same-day registration. So very timely topic, given the legislation that moved through that I'm sure Mr. Scanlon will discuss later. That relates directly to all of our preparations over the last 2 years.
I have to thank Mr. Allen because he's the original, he got in touch with Mr. Albrecht a couple months ago, and we had a conference call with him just to discuss how they do it in Milwaukee, so huge. We also have Chris Craig from the State Board who, you know, before last week probably thought it would be an easy day for her, but now she's going to get bombarded with all these questions regarding the new Senate bill, Senate Bill 172. So, looking forward to seeing her.
I lost track of the last bill. Does that put same-day registration in place for 2015?
16.
16.
Okay, they
Everything
didn't do
is
15.
16.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure.
I believe Jim said, we believe there's an effective date of June 2016.
June 2016, okay.
Or 15, I'm sorry.
15,
Effective date,
okay.
June 2015, but for the March 2016 primary.
Okay.
We're going to have a meeting today to talk about early voting, grace period registration, all that today. So we're
Okay.
going to meet with that and give the board members what we're going to do for the 2015 election.
Okay. All righty. We don't have anything else on, at this moment, on electronic poll book. We'll wait till the next meeting to
Correct.
discuss that. Voting equipment, anything to say there?
No, we're.
Okay.
we're-
You're
we're
gonna
good
test
so
them,
far,
yeah.
but we're doing everything.
And Jim stepped out the room, so we'll circle back with him on legislation. Schedule of board meetings for 2015.
Mr.
Do we have an actual list in here?
Yes.
Under new
It's under
business.
new business, okay. Well, those dates look okay for me.
For now.
For now, unless someone else has a glaring issue. Okay,
I move we adopt the schedule of regular board meetings for 2015 as set forth in the exhibit.
Second.
moved and properly seconded, further discussion, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Schedule for meetings of 2015 are established. Okay. The meetings for the electoral board. The only thing that this is December. Okay, good, thank you. All right, there's a schedule, I think, unless someone has an issue right away, we'll have to play a little bit by ear, but this schedule looks fine for me.
I gathered from Gary Resis's email that he's trying to encourage us to move the January dates up because if I'm reading his memo correctly, the calendar as suggested would conflict with some of the ballot preparation items he's responsible for. I mean, is that a correct interpretation of Gary's memo?
Well, yes. Where is Gary?
Gary's not here, but just to
Okay.
let you know, it's something that we're gonna work around. If we can get the municipal cases done first, we can start working on
Yeah, we'll just-
process, so.
We'll just roll as the cases are ready, and if we have to, yeah.
I think, as we get into January, this may change quite a bit, depending upon the workflow, but I just want to kind of reserve some dates and
Yes.
set those aside for your calendars, and as I said, we can be more flexible as we go forward with this. But
Okay.
Or should we just approve December at this point, or? December and January, subject to change, and
Do we need to approve the dates for the electoral board?
No, we don't have to approve this really at this point in time. I think, you know, we'll go from meeting to meeting, but, you know what? Why don't we take this up during the electoral board session,
That'd
the
be
portion of the
That'd
meeting?
be fine.
Okay.
Okay. Checks for apparent conformity. Mrs. Scanlon.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, as usual, the staff checked all candidate petitions and all petitions seeking to place public questions on the ballot to see whether or not they are in apparent conformity with the requirements of the code. There were two petitions, one candidate petition, one referendum petition, that the staff found that were not in apparent conformity with the requirements of the election code, inasmuch as these two petitions did not have, on the face of the petitions, a sufficient number of purportedly valid signatures. And these are two petitions for which there were no objections filed. One petition is for Walter Zarnecki, Zarnecki, who is a candidate for alderman in the 35th Ward. Mr. Zarnecki's petitions were required by law to have 473 signatures of legal voters in the 35th Ward. In fact, on the face of the petition, there were only 12 signatures. The other petition was a petition seeking to place a public question on the ballot in Ward 38. The question was, should the city of Chicago have an elected school board? In that particular case, the petition was required to have 1,079 signatures. In fact, on the face of the petition, there were only 835 purported valid signatures. So neither of these petitions had sufficient number of signatures as required by the election code. And it's my recommendation to the board that the board find that the petitions in question are not in apparent conformity with the requirements of the election code, that we give notice to the candidate in question and the proponent or proponents of the petition of the public question, that the petitions are not in apparent conformity with the requirements of the code. Further, that the board declined to certify the Mr. Zarnecki and the public question at issue for a place on the ballot for the February 24th, 2015 municipal general election.
so moved.
Second?
Moved and properly seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
That'll be the order.
Thank you.
Now roll right into your legal status report, Mr. Scanlon.
Mr. Chairman, there is a matter that I would like to reserve for discussion in executive session dealing with pending litigation.
Okay.
And also at that time, we'd like to discuss in executive session a personnel matter.
All right. Anything else other than those items?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We'll move to the financial report.
Would
I'm
go
sorry.
back to
Yes.
legislation.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, correct. Jim, do you want to summarize the omnibus election bill that just...
Well, it's long.
Yeah,
It was,
it is long. It is a long...
323 pages, I believe.
Wow.
The important thing is to note that this bill, it's been passed by both houses of the General Assembly. It has not been sent to the governor yet, but it will be sent to the governor within 30 days. Since it was passed after May 31st, it will not become effective until June 1, 2015. So none of these changes have any application to the February and April 2015 municipal elections. These will become effective for the 2016 elections. I've given the commissioners a memo that outlines the changes that were brought about by this particular bill. In total, I believe I listed 21 changes. I'm not going to go into any discussion in detail of those changes this morning, but I'll be glad to answer any questions that the commissioners may have or the staff may have going forward with the bill.
Okay.
Commissioner Cowan?
I still have a question on this provision for absentee or early voting 40 days in advance of the election. How can we possibly work with that? Or is there going to be some effort, possibly early in the January session, to change that? Because I think there's a significant likelihood we won't have or may not have the ballot finalized 40 days in advance. And secondly, does that mean we would have to have all 51 early voting sites open, just the 5 permanent sites, or just the office here? Or what, at least preliminary thinking has been given to those concerns?
Well, first of all, we did bring up the issue about the 40 days and pointed out the fact that this would be before a primary election. It'd be impossible to have a ballot set by the 40th day. We do have to have military and overseas ballots available about 45 days before the election, but as you know, we do that in a paper PDF form, which we email, we send out, and then if there are changes, subsequent changes to the ballot, we send out a regular ballot once it's ready, once it's prepared. But we're talking about relatively small numbers of ballots in those instances. So it'd be very difficult to have a large number of ballots ready by the 40th day. But saying that, having said that, the General Assembly kept the 40 days. We do have a spring session to try to go back and hopefully get some of these issues tweaked and changed. Quite frankly, I don't know where the 40 days came from. Maybe there's another state in the country that starts early voting 40 days before the election. Really, I don't know why 40 days was selected. So, we'll try to address this issue perhaps in the spring session. There are a couple of other items in the bill as well that I think need to be reconsidered. But hopefully we'll have some time in the spring session to address those issues.
Anything else, Mr. Cohen? No. Okay. We'll move to the financial report. We have a voucher listing for the City of Chicago, voucher number 14-11, dated December 8th, 2014, in the amount of $773,854.80. $773,854.80.
Motion to approve?
Moved by Commissioner Hernandez.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cowan. For the discussion, hearing none, all is in favor.
Aye.
We have a voucher listing for the County of Cook, voucher number 14-12, dated 12/8/14, in the amount of $1,806,209.98. $1,806,209.98.
I'll move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Cowan,
Second?
seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. Further discussion? Hearing none, all is in favor.
Aye.
Aye. We'll now move to the public comment section. Does anyone want to address the board this morning? Terry, anything for us today? Okay. I'll now accept a motion to recess. Go ahead, Mr. Scanlon.
Well, Mr. Chairman, we we're scheduled for an electoral board meeting at
Okay.
9 a.m. I do see some people here, I think, that may be here for the electoral board meeting. If we could recess, if I could
Sure.
suggest to recess
Sure.
the regular meeting of the board, then meet for electoral board. Once we've concluded the business of the electoral board, then go back and reconvene for the regular meeting.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
That'll be fine.
Okay.
So I'll accept the motion to,
Mr. Chairman, quick question. I see you stated the $1,800,000 for the Cook County vouchers, but the city vouchers
yes,
in the amount of?
773,854?
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. All right, we will recess the meeting of the Chicago Board of Election Commissioners and call to order. Do we have a board book for the meeting?
Motion to recess, I guess.
Motion to recess? There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We'll call to order the meeting of the Chicago Board of We'll call back into session the meeting of the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago. At this time, I'll accept a motion to recess into executive session to discuss pending litigation and personnel matters.
Second?
Moved. Seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. We are now adjourned into executive session. In open session, the board took no action in executive session, which requires a vote in open session. So if that's completes the business of the board today, I'll accept a motion to recess till our next board meeting, our regular board meeting, which will be
It's the 23rd on the calendar, so.
do we need to meet next week? We'll, yeah.
Well, we're meeting on the
Shall-
19th.
Yeah, so
Right.
shall we make it the 19th
That's the
for a
electoral.
regular board meeting?
Well, no, you've got the 19th for the electoral board.
Yeah.
The 23rd, I have down for both a regular meeting
Oh, okay.
and electoral board meeting.
Okay.
All right, so we'll recess till December 23rd at 10 a.m.?
So, second?
Or 9 a.m.?
It's up to you.
No.
I have down
Nine,
9, but
nine.
we can.
9, you have 9? Yeah, 9 a.m.
Okay.
23rd at 9. Moved by Commissioner Hernandez.
Second? Oh.
Seconded by Commissioner Allen. Further discussion, hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.